What's up, Coding 2? Mr. Agnos here, and this is going to be part one, I believe, of two videos where we are going to attempt to make a multi-scene story on Khan Academy. So switching backdrops and scenes is something that we do very easily in Scratch. It's a little harder to do on Khan Academy, but I think we have enough time left in the year where we can put together what I've called in years past an ebook. So the idea is that you're creating a book. You're going to have a title page, right? And then we click. It's going to go to the first scene. It's going to be a static drawing, right, where you have the scene, just like you're doing a picture book, right? And maybe you'll have 4 or 5 pages in your book, and then we'll have an end screen. Okay. All right. So the first thing in order to change the scene, we need some sort of number to keep a variable to keep track of what page we're on, right? What page we're on in our book. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a variable. I'm going to call it var page number. So I'm going to say page number. And I'm going to set it equal to 1 because we're going to start on our first page. All right. Since anytime you change anything on the screen, we need a draw function, right? Because what we're going to do is we're going to draw one page on top of the previous page. So I'm going to go ahead and type in draw equals, it autofills. And then we're going to need some functionality here. In other words, we actually want this to be interactive so that when I click on the screen, it goes to the next page, right? So in order to do that, we're going to use the mouse clicked function. So outside of the draw function, notice that the draw function ends here on line 5. So on line 7, I always like to leave a little space. I'm going to type mouse clicked, right? All one word. This one does not autofill, so we have to do it ourselves. So I'm going to say equals function, open parentheses, open bracket, close bracket, semicolon. Okay? And in fact, I'll put a few spaces in here. All right. So this is going to be like the basic structure of our program. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw each page so that each page is its own function. Remember, a function is a single line of code that it takes a bunch of code, groups it together so that we can then call it using a single line of code, right? So in other words, we're going to draw each page and then call each page inside the draw function using a single line of code. So I'm just going to start off by making how many pages I'm going to have. Again, this is something that you can change really easily. You can add to it, right? So I'm just going to say, all right, my first function. Remember, we declare a function the same way we declare a variable. I'm going to say var page 1 equals function. Okay, I'm going to say open parentheses, open bracket, close bracket, semicolon. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing. In fact, I'm just going to cut and paste it. I'm going to say Control C, Control V, except now this is going to be page 2. Control V, I'm going to change this to page 3. And again, you can make these in advance, and you can always delete. If I don't need page 3, if I don't ever get to it, for example, maybe I make 10 of these. If I don't get to page 10, I can just delete it. And if I need more, I can just say var page 4 equals function and add it on later. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just think of each page as its own sort of little project. So I'm going to think of page 1 as my title, the cover of the book, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and in order to see what I'm drawing here, I have to call page 1, right? Because right now I have a function for page 1, but it's empty. There's no code in it. And so in order to see what I'm drawing as I add code to it, I have to call page 1 inside the draw function. So I'm going to go here and inside my draw function, I'm going to say page 1, open parentheses, close parentheses, open bracket, that's it. I'm sorry. Page 1, open parentheses, close parentheses, semicolon. Okay. So now I'm calling page 1 inside my draw function. So as I add code to page 1 up here, because I'm calling it inside the draw function, it's going to show up over here. All right. The next thing I need to do is Well, okay, so now I'm going to go up to page 1, and I'm going to start adding code to just page 1. So I'll make some space here. So again, now we can think of all this right here as it's kind of its own little project. All right, the first thing you're going to do is you are going to say, page number gets 1. Okay. What we just did is it's kind of redundant, but we need it for when we get to the end of our project, and I'll explain more here in a little bit. We've assigned page number 1 to page 1 because we're going to change this. We're going to change page number up here to 2 and to 3 for each page that we're on, and then we're going to cycle through that variable, right? So as that variable page number changes, what we see on the screen changes, right? So var page 1 is equal to a function, and the first thing I'm going to put is page number equals 1, and then I just go ahead and I start making, like, imagine this is the cover of my page. So the first thing I might want is a background. I'll choose a nice blue. Then I might want a title, so I'm going to use some text, and I'm going to call mine Too Fast 3 Furiouser. Okay. Now remember with text, it always autofills to white. I'm going to make this red, so I use a fill command to make it red. And then remember to change the size of it, we can use text size. And I'll go with 30. And then I can just number scrub and move this where I want. I still want a little bigger, so I'm going to number scrub here. That's pretty good. I'll center it. And I'll move it down. Okay. And maybe Winston's going to be my main character in this story, right? He's going to be my Dom Toretto. They're both bald, right? So I'm going to do image, parentheses, get, image, parentheses, and I'm going to search for Winston. Remember, if I'm going too fast, the beauty of videos is you can always pause them, rewind, etc. And I'll just say 200, 200, put him in the middle of the screen for now. There he is. All right, I'm going to move him a little bit. And if I was going to spend more time on this, I would give him the little chain that Dom Toretto wears. I might draw a little car in the background. But for now, again, I'm just interested in showing you how to do this, not in making this the best project possible. All right, so here's my title screen. Okay, and then I would just go ahead and do the same thing for the second page. Okay, so what do I want the first scene of my story to be? And I would go and I would draw that in page 2. Now again, in order to see what I'm drawing, I need to switch this now to page 2. All right, I'm going to hit restart. Notice I see nothing. That's because there's nothing in page 2, and page 1 isn't being called. So I'm going to go to page 2, and the first thing I'm going to do is set page number gets 2. And for page 2 and for page 3, I'm just going to put backgrounds just to show you that we are indeed changing the page. Actually, you know what? I'll put a background and a picture. So I'm going to put a background. This time, remember the original background was blue. This time it's going to be, that's too bright. This time the background is going to be green. And maybe I'll just grab a different character. Where's Oh Nose? We'll grab Oh Nose. And I'll put him at 200, 200. There's Oh Nose. So again, now we'll know for sure that we're changing screens. Okay, so there's my second page. And again, you would actually spend a lot of time, make a beautiful opening scene, pictures, text, dialogue, maybe more than one character, and so on. For page 3, remember the first thing we do is page number gets 3. And again, in order to see what I'm creating, I have to call page 3 inside the draw function. I'm going to hit restart. Notice that I don't see anything. Again, page 1 and page 2 are not being called, and page 3 has nothing in it. So let's go ahead and put a background. The final background will make a nice light shade of purple, maybe. And I'm just going to go ahead and call another character. How about Hopper? We'll call Hopper. That looks like a Fast and the Furious character. Okay. So let's take a look at the whole program that I have so far here. I start off by creating a variable that I call page number. I set it equal to 1 because we're going to start our story on page 1. Then I went ahead and I created a draw function, and I created a mouse clicked function. This is where all the functionality is going to happen. So we're going to get to that in part 2 of the video. I then went ahead and created a variable for each page of my story. Again, if I need more pages, I just add them. var page 4 equals function, and so on. Right? So I went ahead and created 3. And then you're just going to treat each of these functions as its own little project. You're going to draw. What does my cover look like? You're going to have some text. You'll have a picture by Mr. Agnos, right? Then you would make sure that you have whatever page number you're working on. Make sure you have it called inside the draw function so you can actually see it as you're working on it, right? So now if I go and I put a 1 here, I can see the title page. If I put a 2 here, all right, the first scene involves Oh No's. And if I put a 3 here, I now have Hopper. And so you can see right there that what I need to happen is I need the computer to cycle through these using this variable so that we can have a multi-scene story. Okay, in the next video, I'm already at 12 minutes here. In the next video, we're going to add the functionality. But I just want to be clear. Each one of these functions here, you're making a beautiful page. And I'll show you some completed examples so you know what I'm talking about. But you're going to have characters, text, background, scenery, right? Like a page in a picture book. Okay, if you need to pause, rewind, go back, rewatch this, please do. And I'll see you guys for part 2 of this video.